Hello to you. My name is Maria Kondzielska, and this is Poland Daily Culture. We're bringing Tamara Łempicka back to life. And with me in the studio is Marisa Łempicka, who is contacting us from Colorado, actually Aspen there. So thank you very much for being with us. And since we already have you flesh and blood almost here talking to us, and you are a living legacy of Łempicka after all. So there are they say there are two forms of immortality. One is in our works and the other one is in our ancestors. And happily Łempicka had both of them, and she has both of them. So in her pictures, but also her blood living there in you. And since you are, it is a unique opportunity to talk to you and to also gather some information which are unknown to the public audience. That's why I would like to ask you to share with us one of your personal stories which you have about Łempicka.
Fantastic. Well, of course, you can imagine there's so many stories to choose from, but one that's very personal to me and I have very vivid is, as I said in the previous interview, we would go as little girls to visit Tamara in Mexico. She did not show her love physically, like she was not like those grandmas, can you imagine, with a white bun, huggy, but she would show her love with actions, right? I mean, she would pay for our visits over there for over a month, the 3 plane tickets all the way from Argentina, this beautiful villa. She would buy us little gifts. But to me, something very special, she was already about 78 years old. And a lot of people don't know this, she was a great seamstress and a great clothing designer. She would design clothes for my mom when she was young. But then when my sister and I went to one of our visits, she wanted us to have something special from her. So she designed and hand sewn these beautiful little dresses. One was white with blue polka dots. And of course, she made a matching little bonnet with a big bow. And then she made another one for us with pink and white stripes. And we still have those dresses. But she spent about 2 or 3 weeks making them by hand for us. She measured us, and then every afternoon I still remember the image, sitting in her chair looking at the garden. A lot of the times my sister and I were playing in the pool, and she would just sit on the terrace hand sewing these little dresses for us. So of course I think that's the way of her to show us love.
Amazing. And you have in your personal collections.
There's a funny little story because she was so perfectionist, These dresses were amazing and again made by hand, but she forgot in my sister's. So when we were wearing the dresses for her for the first time and showing her how they looked, she had left a needle in my sister's dress. So my sister, she's 4 years old. She's like, in Spanish, me pincha, which means something is poking me. My mother, what's going on? And we found the needle that Tamara had left in there on the dress. But they looked lovely and they were perfect. And what an amazing things for us to have, those hand-sewn dresses by Tamara.
That's fabulous, and a fabulous story that also she had so much energy in order to put also in sewing dresses herself. And you say that she was very in favor of bonnets, yes? And she was wearing them herself as well.
She loved the bonnets. Yeah, she had a lot of her clothes made, especially in her later years, and the bonnets were the matching material as her tunics. So here we are, she's in matching tunic and bonnet, and my sister and I are in matching little dresses and bonnets. So yes.
That's absolutely unique as well. And also the element of it is that she was very picky when it comes to her fashion. And she was always very classical and looking at her dresses and what she was wearing. What do you remember as a little girl, like what she had on herself?
Well, again, she would wear these long, in her older days, these long, beautiful tunics. A lot of the material came from France, and she had a wonderful seamstress in Mexico that would make her dresses. It was a simple design, and she said she copied it from Christian Dior. So it was always pretty much the same design. A long tunic and her matching bonnet. Of course, in her younger days, she would wear a lot of the designer clothes from Chanel, Schiaparelli, Madame Grès, and these are designers from the 20s and 30s. There's some wonderful black and white photographs of her wearing these amazing dresses and hats, of course. And a lot of these designers, Tamara was already quite famous in Paris, and they would give her these dresses for her to wear at her events when she was showing her paintings or her art openings, to promote their designs. So she was already kind of a fashionista and an influencer, if you want to call it that way, in those days.
Absolutely amazing artist herself. That's very interesting, and I would say also inspiring that until such a late years, she had so much power also to create more elements. I would say she needed to be like a small volcano of energy in every single possible way.
Well, and even, she was already, she would never leave her room disheveled. Like her makeup, like I remember, I still, in my head, she had the most amazing big blue eyes. They were like aqua blue, huge blue eyes. And even in her later years, she would always have like a black line on her eyes to make them more dramatic, and her lipstick, and her perfume. She was always, in English we say decked to the nines, which means always dressed, always presentable, always with her jewels, her makeup, her perfume. And this is how she wanted to present herself to the world, I think even almost to the day she died.
And I do hope we will remember her as such elegant lady forever, because she definitely deserves this. And thank you again for all of this sharing to us. And I do hope that the audience of Poland Daily have in front of their eyes Łempicka in all of those beautiful dresses, and that they are taken with us right now to Mexico. And I do hope you will yourself dig up a little bit more to find out who Łempicka was as an artist, but also as a painter. And thank you very much for watching Poland Daily Culture.